But that's alright.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Max in our Borderlands video, and today we're talking about the likelihood or the possibility of Handsome Jack returning as the main villain in Borderlands 4. Now, before you say Handsome Jack's dead, he can't be the villain in Borderlands 4 because he's dead, Handsome Jack was originally the villain for Borderlands 3.
Also, we love to recognize great villains. You don't have great conflict without great villains. Handsome Jack is one of my favorite villains all time, and I can say that because I wasn't part of, like, it was Anthony Birch and Paul Helquist that were really masterminds of that for Borderlands 2. He was a really great villain. He was smarmy, he was annoying, you know, he tries to kill you right at the beginning of the game, all the things that you want a villain to do, right? And he loves to eat potato chips while telling you about his diamond pony that he names Butt Stallion. I mean, it's everything. He's right in your face. He's really funny. He's really engaging. And he really does some things to mess up your world as you get invested in it. But we really had to think about this. By the way, I'm going to let you in on a little trade secret. When we first started writing the story for Borderlands 3, Handsome Jack was going to return as the villain. Even though we killed him in Borderlands 2, and he appeared again in the pre-sequel as kind of a doppelganger, a playable character, and then Tales from the Borderlands, a holographic Jack. In fact, Handsome Jack's been around a lot for the last 7 years, and for a while, right at the beginning of Borderlands 3, we thought that we'll never make a villain that good. How can we ever make another Handsome Jack? We just need to use him again and find a way for him to be alive again and come back and all.
Now that clip is from DevCon 2019, and that's Randy Varnell, the now president of Gearbox Properties, talking about the creation of Borderlands 3 and admitting that during the early stages of writing, Handsome Jack was the villain in Borderlands 3. And there's even footage from the early beginnings of the game that corroborate with that statement. Now, in the Borderlands 3's director's cut, there is a lot of footage of behind-the-scenes things, early plans, early builds of the game, and one of them is driving around Promethea from the very beginning stages. And in this Promethea, this early stage of Promethea, Handsome Jack statues are everywhere. Now, this could just be placeholder statues, or it could be corroborating Randy Varnell's statement in that the very beginnings, the inceptions of Borderlands 3, Handsome Jack was going to be a much larger role. Handsome Jack was going to be the main villain. Now, the reason this is important is because Handsome Jack is dead, right? Like, we think he's dead or he's not dead. I'm pretty sure Randy Pitchford himself has said Handsome Jack is dead, but clearly if he was going to be the villain in Borderlands 3, Gearbox was coming up with or had a plan for how Handsome Jack would still be alive. Now, there's multiple avenues for how he could still be alive. Now, the main way, or at least the way that I think Gearbox would have done it, is through the ending of the Tales from the Borderlands game. In the last episode of Tales from the Borderlands, Jack tells Reese, or shows Reese, that he was going to use his metal corpse as a walking animatronic to control, and Reese would have turned into, like, Jack, basically. Jack would have taken over Reese. Now, Reese, upon getting this information, rips his eye out, and then the game gives the player the choice to crush or keep the eye. If Gearbox was going to bring back Jack, maybe the official ending to this would be Reese keeps it, and now we have a Jack AI in the Borderlands universe. If Reese were to put this into the wrong thing, or an evil scientist or someone gets a hold of it, then we have a Jack AI that could then take over multiple electronics, mechanics, robots, and we have maybe not the living flesh Jack, but Jack is back controlling things in the game, and we could have a Jack villain again. We could sit here and theorize about all the different ways that Jack could make a return, or some form of Jack could make a return, but at the end of the day, Gearbox themselves had a way to bring him back, and that means that they might be able to use that way or come up with a way to bring him back to Borderlands 4. And that leads us to the next part, which is, should they? I'm going to leave that should they part up to you guys. Gearbox originally changed Handsome Jack being the main villain in Borderlands 3 to the Calypso twins because of a fan video.
All that. And then there was this really great fan video. It was about 2 years ago, came out and said, 7 things we don't want to see in Borderlands 3. And I think number 2 and number 3 was Handsome Jack. So we listened and we heard, and we were all like, okay, maybe we should put Handsome Jack to rest. Let him. But when you do that, oh my goodness, you have this massive obligation to follow in the footsteps of one of my favorite video game villains ever.
So I'm going to leave you guys with the question, would you want to see Jack in Borderlands 4? And I'm going to have a pinned comment where you can go vote. You can go say and voice your opinions if you'd want to see Jack or not. I think there's obviously two big sides to this party. There's the side that is happy that we got Jack for the time that we did and don't want to see his character ruined or tarnished in future installments of Borderlands. They've got enough of Jack. They're happy with it and they don't want to see any more. They want new things for the Borderlands franchise. And then I think there's the party that loves Jack and is obsessed with him and wants to see more of Jack and what Jack could bring to the future of Borderlands games. I'm kind of in the boat originally where I was done with Jack. I didn't want to, I like literally said that I do not want to see Jack in Borderlands 3, and I was a little disappointed when I saw what was happening with the Handsome Jackpot, but I'm now a little bit in the boat that I would be fine with seeing Jack. I don't think I want Jack as a main villain, but maybe as a side influence to our villain, or is revealed to be controlling our main villain, some kind of influence that is still looming in the Borderlands universe as a sinister force, I think could be really neat. That's kind of my take on it. I'd love to see your guys, and once again, you can do so by voting in the poll that I'll have as a pinned comment. I will catch y'all in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace. By the way, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about Handsome Jack, I found myself kind of going down a rabbit hole of like Handsome Jack lore when making this video. I've got some great videos in the description that will lead to Hater Hype, Epic NNG, and Eruption Fang videos, which all are YouTubers who have videos going over Handsome Jack and the history of Timothy, and some videos on how Handsome Jack could make a return. I found them super interesting, so I'll drop them down in the description. All right, peace, guys.
I was putting